I have determined 6 steps required to create a document in Easy English. These are preparation, write the text, format the text, select and create images that are directly related to the text, insert and format the images, and finalize an accessible document. I will briefly proceed through each of these steps. Step 1. Preparation. Once you have determined your audience in terms of what level of disability and what level of literacy, you need to prepare the document. I find it easiest to print out the original document and go through it with a red pen and highlighters. Then read through the whole document and determine the main, most important need-to-know messages. Delete any information that might be redundant or purely nice to know. Then determine a logical sequence for the messages. You may need to change the order of some of the information. Step 2. Writing or really rewriting the text. The key points with the text are that it includes basic, familiar vocabulary and grammar. This involves carefully choosing the vocabulary and carefully wording and chunking the information, keeping the grammar clear and concise. Research has shown that the greater the number of words in a sentence and the greater the number of sentences in a paragraph, the more difficult was understanding and interpretation of meaning. So keep each chunk of information to a maximum of about 8 words per chunk. There may be technical words that are an important part of the document, and so these can be used, but they must be defined either in a glossary type section at the end of the document or at the end of the sentence. This is important for terms that they will come across frequently. Even words like complaints and representative need to be defined and or have examples. It basically means being mindful that our readers aren't interested in how much we know and try to tell them. They are only interested in how much they need to know. Use minimal punctuation. Limit to full stops and question marks. Don't use hyphens, brackets or slashes except in a web address. Don't use colons or semicolons. The use of numbers should be minimized as well, but when they are used, the actual number should be used rather than the word for the number, even for numerals less than 10. Add an additional space between text and numbers. Step 3. Text format. Use bullet points to break the text into smaller chunks, so that, for example, each sentence becomes like a list of phrases. Use sans serif 14-point font for crispness, clarity and accessibility. Indent all text to approximately 5 centimetres. This can be set as the left-hand margin. Use headings to break the text into sections and indent them to the same margin. The headings can relate to those in the original document, and you may have to create some new additional headings. Use lots of white space throughout the document, especially between sentences and between the heading and following text. White space enables thinking space, a clear pause between each chunk of information. Don't let sentences carry over the page. Keep sections on the same page or facing pages where possible. That is, if a section is going to extend to 2 pages, start the section on an even numbered page, which will be a left page in a double-sided printed copy. This step can be more time consuming than you'd think if you are going to be making the document online accessible. You don't want empty hard enters, so you need to adjust the spacing using the paragraph formatting rather than just an extra enter. Step 4. Images. This can be the most time-consuming part. The thing to remember is that the purpose of using images is to assist the reader's engagement with the written text. So all images need to be directly relevant to the text so that they support the text and assist the understandability of the text. The images should have minimal use of text actually within the image to reduce the complexity of the image. As I've mentioned, the research, particularly relating to people with intellectual disability, indicates that use of drawings is best. There is greater flexibility in combining drawings to make an image relevant to the specific text. A lot of the available drawing-based image sets are actually created by people with intellectual disability as well. There is a range of image sets available, so be familiar with the range and their copyright, and expect to have to use a range of sources for any document. Whilst photo sets are also available for purchase, and they are often of people with disability and therefore may be relatable to the reader, they are much harder to make them directly relatable to and therefore supportive of the text itself, which is their purpose. Also, a reader may think that it's only relevant to the person in the photo. So the use of photos may actually just be to make the document appear more attractive. Step 5. Image format. As well as being designed to assist in understanding the written text, the images can also assist in the actual reading process. Therefore, the images should be on the left of the text to draw the reader's attention to the left side of the page, and then to move in a normal reading pattern to the right to read the text. Images should be clear and crisp, and usually are best if they are about 3 by 3 centimetres. Images should be colourful, ensuring good colour contrast. Images don't need to be used for every piece of text, as the page will look too cluttered, so try to limit to 4 to 5 images per page. Lastly, it's important to acknowledge the image sources at the end of the document. Step 6. Accessibility. You need to know where your document is going. Is it only going to be available as a printed out document, in which case the emphasis will be on visual and/or tactile presentation. As I've mentioned several times, Easy English is best as a printed hard copy, given that people with lower level of English language literacy, particularly those with intellectual disability, but also the elderly, have difficulty with digital text, so it can be printed out as a double-sided document. The paper needs to be sturdy and at least 100 GSM thickness, so that the images and text don't show through, which can be distracting. By doing it double-sided, it means that you can have facing pages in case a topic takes more than one page. However, with information being more available online, for best practice and to better meet the WCAG AAA rating, it becomes important to ensure online documents are accessible PDFs, so that, for example, people with dyslexia can better decode them and people with vision impairment can read them with a screen reader. So is your Easy English document going on your website? Is it accessible? This adds additional formatting decisions and requirements, for example, considering alt text for all images, image text ordering, or will only the text be made accessible? If it is a form, will it be online fillable? Most importantly, is the document usable by the intended audience? Before it becomes available, best practice will be to test it with some of the potential readers. Sit down with consumers one-to-one and take note of all their comments, questions and solutions, especially regarding, for example, the sizing, relevance and visibility of the images. Talk to them about the language. Is it their everyday language? Is it relevant to that consumer?